The Greatest Estate Developer is an interesting series. It falls into that genre of a character ends up in a world, be it their own one or through an isekai shenanigans, where they know the future, be it because, like I said, they've lived it, or because they've ended up in the world of a game or a book that they've read. And in this case, it's the latter. Our protagonist, a Korean man whose name I forget, ends up in the body of a man called Lloyd Fonterra in this fantasy world of a book he was reading. Or I believe it was a book. Might have been a webcomic, but who knows? It's a book. It's a story, right? However, the character whose body he ends up in is a lout. He is a drunkard, a bastard, a complete and utter piece of human garbage, if you will, who's caused no end of trouble for his entire life. And in fact, as of the exact moment of him entering his body, he has just come back from a night of drunken chaos and has passed out in the middle of the road. Why has this happened? Well, as far as I've read, I don't know. Neither does he. He's just in Lloyd's body now, and so he is Lloyd. And, well, it turns out that the Frontera Barony is in a lot of debt, and doesn't have a very bright future, according to the story. Which means that, being as he's now Lloyd, he does not have a very bright future either. So that's his first goal, to sort that out, to try and fix that. But luckily, he was an engineering scholar. He has a degree in engineering. And due to his time in the military, as we find out, as far as I am, he did a lot of building and construction work. Both in and out of the military. A lot in the military. A bit too well, it would seem. And so these skills are all going to come and help him to set up and live the cushy life. Save his family from debt and then live the good life in the countryside as a noble. Doesn't that sound great? It'd be brilliant if that all worked out perfectly fine. And well, so far there have been a few kinks in the plan, but it's mostly going right. But that's not really the most important thing about the plot. The characters are great. They're characterized really, really well. The character acting is fantastic. But mainly, it's quite funny. Like, The Greatest Estate Developer is actually rather funny. I haven't actually giggled too much while reading a webtoon, and this has been one that's actually kind of got me. It's really fun. It's an all-around just entertaining, joyous experience. Lloyd is a great character. He's very, very expressive, and, well, while his personality is all over the place for a couple of reasons, both because the protagonist himself is a bit of a maniac at times, but also because he's got to try and pretend to be Lloyd, so he has to flip-flop between acting like a decent person and acting like Lloyd to an extent. It's really entertaining. We also have, you know, the deuteragonist of the story, the original protagonist of the story that our protagonist has ended up in. That was a wordy, nothing sentence. Jesus. Javier Astrahan, I believe it's Javier, but that is not how it's said. Javier is how I'm going to say it. Astrahan. And he's really cool. He is a kind of very serious, very stoic to an extent, you know, typical image of, you know, a noble swordsman who's, you know, righteous and good in every capacity, you know? And he acts as a very good straight man to Lloyd and his shenanigans. Their dynamic is absolutely brilliant. They're just such a good duo. I mean, everyone Lloyd interacts with, it's just fantastic. He's such a, well, he's a con man, ultimately. But he's at least doing good things by being a con man. Kind of. I mean, he's using his modern engineering knowledge to build things in this, you know, feudal era that shouldn't exist, like under-the-floor heating. Korean under-the-floor heating, but still under-the-floor heating. And suspension bridges and the like. And also, you know, terraforming a you know, unusable marshland into bountiful farmland. And then redirecting water from rivers very, very far, and lakes very, very far away. Like, he's doing, you know, stuff that's good for the world. But he's also swindling people out of loads of money so he can live the good life in the future. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. But it's very entertaining, I can't lie. It's a very, very entertaining series. And if you haven't read it, I do highly recommend you go read it. Like, The Greatest Estate Developer, very, very fun. It's just all around fun ride. I've been enjoying it. I've only read about 30, 40 chapters-ish as of right now, not long after meeting the queen of the kingdom that he is in. But yeah, it's all around really good fun. I am kind of tempted to read it on the channel because it feels like it'd be very, very fun to voice act. I've been enjoying voice acting as I read it on my phone in my room. I do sound like a maniac, but it's a lot of fun. I'm very tempted to read it on the channel. Just finding the time when. I suppose I can just do it on Wednesdays if I don't have a normal video, I suppose. But yeah, it's really good stuff. Really, really fun. So far, I'm not very far through. We'll see how my opinion changes in the future, and if I do or do not end up reading it on the channel. But hey, nonetheless, with that out of the way, I've been also you've been you, and hope you time for another video. It's for now.